Welcome to Grammar, y'all, and thanks for visiting. Today, I'm going to give you the definitions of three linguistic terms: form, function, and use. I think these terms are really important to understand when we get into rhetorical grammar, because while we work with the parts of speech all the time, not all words neatly fit into those categories, which is where these concepts help us explain the anomalies of language to our students. So, I'm going to start with a story. Did you know there are grammar conferences? There are grammar conferences, and I have been to them, and I love them. I'm at a grammar conference. This is years ago, and someone is talking about a sentence. Honest to goodness, I don't remember the exact sentence, but I have a mock-up that has the same energy as that one. Anyways, these two women at this grammar conference are really fighting about this word. They cannot agree what part of speech is one of the words in the sentence. So let's look at a sentence that I've mocked up that has the same energy. That is my favorite coffee cup. Well, one woman was convinced that coffee was an adjective. The other woman was convinced that coffee was a noun. I don't often talk in conferences, but at this time I stood up and I was like, actually, you're both right. Because what this is form and function. Form is what a word is, what its label is. Function is what the word is doing in the context in which we find it. So when we say that is my favorite coffee cup, the form is a noun, but it is functioning like an adjective because it's telling us which cup specifically. Just as a side note here, important to note, sometimes form and function can be the same thing, as we see in this sentence, I love coffee. Advertisers use this all the time in marketing, right? They have a word that has a traditional form and then they change its function. So here are some examples. Coca-Cola says open happiness. Happiness is an adjective, but here they're using it as a noun. Let's Texas. Texas is almost always what we have known it to be as a noun, but here they're getting fun with language and they're using it as a verb. And then Targets expect more, pay less. More and less are traditionally adjectives, but here they're being used as nouns. So just as a side note, words have a form and a function, but clauses and phrases also have forms and functions. Here are a few examples, and this list is not exhaustive by any means. It's just to demonstrate that it's not just words, but phrases and clauses too. We got form, which is what it is. We got function, which is what it does. And then we have use, which is how the grammatical construction is used to get things done. So we're going to circle back around to the advertisements we talked about earlier because this is really all about use. Why would advertisers change the form to a different function in advertisements? Well, it's really purposeful. It's useful because it makes us pause and think about, wait a second, I've always known this as a verb. What is it doing in the noun category? And so we stop for just 1 second longer on their advertising campaign. The second one is that it demonstrates play. We think that this company is fun and yay, aren't they great? Look at how they play with language. So this is language use in real life. So use conversations revolve around the idea of what language purpose for what reason. How is it getting things done in our world? All right, again, form, what it is, function, what it does, and use, how does the grammatical construction get things done in the world? As we move through our videos together, remember these terms. We'll be circling back to them in other videos. Thanks so much for joining me today. Y'all take care of yourselves. Texas, the form is absolutely a noun, but here it's functioning as an it's a verb, not an adjective. I gotta fix that. No. No. To make Texas? No. So, I'm good. Take all of that out.